There we go. Hey, you guys. Um, Happy early 2019. So, it's New Year's Eve, and I've been reflecting today a lot on my year and what I've done and all that good stuff. And I've noticed two things that have come up a lot. Conversations that I've had this year. One has been with a lot of my white sisters, surrounding sometimes like white guilt, sometimes, how to be able to create better spaces for working and interacting with black women, people of color, that type of thing. I've had those in inboxes and sometimes at restaurants and things of that nature. And I do believe that there is a very sincere desire to sort of build some of those alliances and things of that nature. But the other half of that has been pretty much almost daily conversations that I have with other black women about, there's really no way to sugarcoat it, like the abuse that we have experienced at the hands of mostly well-meaning white women, oftentimes liberal, oftentimes ones who think that they are doing something that is helping the cause or the community or whatever, but can also end up being more harmful. A lot of times this is at work. Sometimes it's in community events and things of that nature. So that's happening. And those conversations with my sisters are often, me talking people off of the ledge, or them doing the same thing for me. And it's in text messages and private conversations, and the voices of black women are ones that are not traditionally lifted or listened to, even when it comes to discussing those things and the historical violence that we have experienced at the hands of many white women in many white spaces, that type of thing. So last night, I had a conversation with a young white woman who is a mentee of mine who's growing up beautifully, that I love dearly. And the conversation was pretty interesting. And she was talking about how she was having a conversation recently with a friend, and that friend, who was another white woman, used the N-word. And she immediately got upset, but the girl's boyfriend handled it. He checked her in that moment. So she was like, oh, okay, good. This is a guy who gets it. He checked her. We're good. And then she said there was other instances where they were together and she noticed that she was using that word. So she asked her, like, why are you saying this? Why do you have a need to say it? And the young woman, who she is a good friend of hers, she basically responded in a way that a lot of people respond, which is like, it's not that big of a deal, and all of those things. And my mentee, she challenged her on that. She said, like, I know that you're better than this. And that hit me in a real, like, heart space way. Like, I know that you're better than this. And it reminded me of all of these conversations I've had with white women who sometimes are distraught and like, what do I do? Like, how can I change things? How can I use my voice? Like, that is it. Speak to your friends, your sisters, your mom, your grandmother, the women that you work with, the other people that you know who are doing these things that contribute to the climate that has been created. Say to them, in 2019, commit to saying, I know that you're better than this. And hold them accountable. And it's not even just for using words. It's for the company that you work for, and you notice that there are no people of color who are decision makers. Be willing to say in that board meeting, we don't have anyone in here who reflects other demographics. I know that we're better than this. Like, in 2019, you get to change things through putting your hands on it, through putting your voice to use, through putting yourself on the line. Like, and while I love, literally, like, I love all of my sisters, I'm glad that we're, finding the time to try to band together and all that other stuff. But, like, the onus is no longer on black women to fix your stuff for you. So you got to be willing to step in, to dig in, to do that work, and to say, I know that we're better than this, and say that to your sisters, your friends, in the same way that we've been asking that of men. That's all you've been asking of men is get your sons, get your nephews, let them know, tell them that they're better. Like, you need to do the same thing. Like, because I don't want any more conversations about how this white woman at work did this thing and said this thing and it really affected my self-esteem and things of that nature. We have to move past that if we're going to really, like, collectively make any change. So my message, 2019, we know that you're better, and we know that you can pass that message on to your sisters. It's not our job to do it. We're not carrying that mantle anymore. So welcome. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year.